Hello, good afternoon, everybody. I know it's been a while since I've dropped a video on the YouTube channel. Actually, been doing a lot of training, getting people ready for the upcoming tax season. Do me a favor, if you like these type of videos, please drop down below, give me a thumbs up, and subscribe to the channel. Okay. So yeah, everybody has heard, everybody has got the news about the new child tax credit, the child tax advances, and everybody is talking about the enhanced child independent care credit. And I just kind of want to cover some few bases with you guys because I do not want you to have expectations that will not be made clear. Okay. And so, number one, we're going to start off with that child tax credit. Okay, the American Rescue Plan Act of 2021, it made some very important changes to the child tax credit for the tax year 2021 only. All right. So Biden, there's talks about Biden want to extend this, make it permanent, but as of now, this is only for the year of 2021. Okay. And the basic changes include the credit amounts will increase for many taxpayers. The maximum child tax credit increased to 3,600 for children under the age of 6 and 3,000 per child for children between the ages of 6 and 17. The credit for qualifying children is fully refundable, which means that taxpayers can benefit from the credit even if they don't have any earned income credit or they don't owe any income taxes. Okay. So before 2021, only a portion of this return was refundable. You do have things such as refundable credits and non-refundable credits. Non-refundable credits only reduce your tax liability. Okay, so say for instance you were on 1,500, it would reduce the 1,500, but say if you were going to get 16, well, that other 100 would basically go to waste. The credit will include children who turn age 17 in 2021. Okay. Certain taxpayers may receive part of their credit in 2021 before filing their 2021 tax return during the 2022 tax filing season. The easy way to find out if you qualify to claim this credit is to use the Advanced Child Tax Credit Eligibility Assistance. Um, if it will ask you questions about yourself and other family members just to see if you qualify for that credit. And if so, it will give you an estimate amount. Okay. Now, it's very important that you guys understand that taxpayers do not need to take any actions other than to file their 2020 tax return as soon as possible. Um, if they did have not done so already, which most of you should have. If not, we will need to e-file those next year. Okay. The IRS has created a special tool. A lot of you are using it. It's the Child Tax Credit Non-Filer Tool Sign Up. And it allows certain taxpayers to register to be eligible for advanced child tax credit payments. Generally, the tool is for those taxpayers who normally are not required to file a tax return. Okay, so I think you guys should carefully read who should use this tool and what you will need on the information page before you actually start using the tool. So as most of you know, the advance payments, they started in July, they went through December. Oh, there have been so many ups and downs with this child tax advance credit. Hopefully most of the wrinkles are wrinkled out. I like to break things down in layman terms for people so that you can understand. But the advance payments of 2021, the child tax credit was made monthly. So from July to December to eligible taxpayers starting July the 15th. The advance payments were up to 50% of the total estimated credit, which is based on information whether you include it on your 2020 tax return or your 2019 tax return, or you use the non-filer to actually put in that type of type of information. Some people are missing payments, okay? Some people didn't get any payments. And some of you, you know, if you don't have a tax preparer like myself, you have yet to be informed why. But as soon as I found out that the IRS had announced that if you had an amended return, that your child tax advance credit would be delayed until it was processed, right? So typically the amendment returns, they take up to 16 weeks, which is about 4 months. Okay. Well, this year I had did some in April and March, and they received their money probably last week. Okay. So it's very, very frustrating. A lot of them received a message on the Where's My Amended portal, just stating that they needed to call this 1-800 number and gave them an extension. A lot of them were confused. A lot of them were upset. But please do know that your tax preparer had no clue that there was going to even be a child tax advance credit. Okay. Now, when you think about all this stuff logically, some of you may ask, why is it so much confusion? Me personally, the biggest reason why I think that there was so much confusion is typically people will allow other people to claim their children, whether it's their mother, brother, you know, somebody in their family, and maybe they didn't get the stimulus the first, second, or third. And then there's this child tax advance credit, and now the world is going crazy. And guess what? Everybody wanted to amend their taxes. Everybody wanted to amend their taxes. So what happened was it caused people like you to be delayed on your tax return, or your amendments got set way behind. I have a client here that I sent in documentation for back in March. The IRS wrote him November the 24th. Wrote him November the 24th and said, hey, wow, yeah, we know you've been sending that information, but we're just not getting into it. We're just now getting to that information. You know, we're sorry. Or basically, let me read it to you. We received your reply on May the 17th, 2021. Okay, to our notice. This was November the 24th, this clients received the letter. So 6 months later, they finally got an update from the IRS. Well, I always try to be the type of person to put myself in somebody else's situation. So I can imagine that it's quite hectic being a person that works at the IRS right now. I mean, just so much. The stimulus was tied into tax returns, which I did not agree with, because a lot of people have yet to receive stimulus payments because they may have been chosen to verify their identity, send in extra documents. I mean, the list can go on. So I do understand, you know, that the IRS do need extra workers, and they do need better equipment to be able to assist us. There's times where I take the extra step for my clients. Even though the IRS write you guys, my clients bring me the letters, and I help them fax them and whatever they need. Like, a lot of them could not reach and verify their identity, you know, so I put it in the mail for them, and they're still receiving letters like they did not receive it. And some of that, I get a little of that backlash, but I think I kind of explain things quite well. Okay. So the biggest question outside of that I have been receiving is the child tax credit is one, and the child and dependent care expenses. These are two different credits. Okay. They're two different credits. A lot of times when people do not qualify for the earned income credit, they will qualify for that child tax credit. So let me just get back onto the subject. Like I said, the advance payments started going out in July of the 15th. So as all you may have, you know, by now, it's an advance. It's an advance on your return. Okay. So typically unless you're in the same tax bracket as you were before. You know, it was kind of skeptical. Me personally, I opted out from the beginning. Okay. And so if I do receive any kind of advance payments, I will receive those on my 2021 tax return that I will file in January, right? But I need you guys to be on the lookout. You guys should be on the lookout for the letter. The IRS will start sending those letters out very soon. Okay, it's going to be either a letter 6416 or with an A at the end, but both are named the Advanced Child Tax Credit Outreach Letter. Okay, so initially they sent these letters out to eligible taxpayers with more information about the advance payments. These letters estimate the child tax credits amounts for the tax year, and then inform the taxpayers that they may be eligible to receive the advance payment. Okay. You will receive another letter right before tax season. I always just tell my clients, go ahead, when you get that letter, don't put it up in a file. I mean, even if you put it up in a file, go ahead and take a picture of that letter, because you will be needing it when it's time to file your taxes. Okay. Now, if you are missing a payment, you did not receive a payment, after 5 weeks, you can fill out a form 3911 to make a trace of those payments. Those of you that your amended returns have not processed yet, you will recoup those advanced child tax credit when it's time for you to file your tax returns this year. Okay. Now, everybody been blowing me up about the 2021 Child and Dependent Care Credit. A lot of you may have never heard of it. It may have never ever been mentioned to you from your tax preparer. This is not a new credit, but just like a lot of things did change due to COVID, it do comes with a lot of different stipulations. Okay. So for the tax year 2021, the American Rescue Plan, it temporarily increased the maximum amount of work-related expenses for qualifying care that may be taken in account when calculating the child and dependent care credit, and increased the maximum percentage of those expenses for which the credit may be taken, and it modified how the credit is reduced for higher earners, and it made it refundable. Okay, so this is another credit that was made refundable in this year. The credit amounts for 2021, eligible taxpayers can claim qualifying work-related expenses up to $8,000 for one qualifying person. And in the previous years, it was $3,000 that a person can claim, or $16,000 for two or more qualifying persons. And that's up from $6,000 in prior years. Okay, so before 2021, that credit only allowed you to recoup 35%, and then it reduced itself, but it did not go below 20%. Well, this year that credit is 50%. Okay, so combined with the increase to the 50% to the maximum credit rate, taxpayers with the maximum amount qualifying work-related expenses will receive a maximum credit of $4,000 for one qualifying child, or $8,000 for two or more qualifying persons. When calculating the credit, a taxpayer must subtract any employer-provided dependent care benefits, like the hospital. Some hospitals, they will pay a certain amount towards the daycare. Okay, so say for instance, altogether $3,000 was paid to a daycare, but you're the company that you work for paid $2,000, then you would only be required, the only amount that you can claim is the $1,000, right? That's the only thing that came out of your pocket. Okay, so what qualifying information? Taxpayers are required to have earnings. Okay, the amount qualifying work-related expenses claimed cannot exceed a taxpayer's earning. Okay, so just say for instance you work at McDonald's and you made $14,000 at McDonald's. Okay, well, you got 2 kids on your return. Guess what? You're not going to put $16,000 on that for a child tax credit. You're going to get an audit because you're going to be at a negative 2,000. Okay. So logically, you guys do need to keep that in mind. A taxpayer must reside in the United States for more than half of the year. However, special rules do apply to military personnel stationed outside of the United States. A qualifying person generally is a dependent under the age of 13, or a dependent that's of any age, that, or a spouse. A spouse can also get the dependent care credit, but they will have to be incapable of self-care and who lives with the taxpayer for more than half of the year. There is an exception to this rule, and that exception is that a parent does not have to have the same address as you for you to pay for their dependent care. Okay. Also, a valid taxpayer identification number for each qualifying person. I am now certified to issue ITIN numbers for those that cannot obtain a social security number. Okay. So when a family's income is up to 125,000, they're still eligible for the full credit. Right? Usually stuff starts to deteriorate and go down the more money you make, but after which the percentage of expenses that a taxpayer can claim gradually decreases until it phases out. It phases out at 438,000, and that's going to be your adjusted gross income. Okay. So this credit is fully refundable for the first time in 2021. Okay. So this means an eligible taxpayer can receive it even if they owe no federal income tax. Bravo, that's amazing. All right. All right. So claiming the credit, to claim the credit for 2021, you're going to need to fill out the form 2441, attach it to your 1040. That 2441 needs to have information about that child care provider. Okay. So they need to know such things as their name, their social security number, their address. All right. Now, I wanted to get a little technical with you guys today. Okay. And so I did this video on my my Zoom training. So I want to actually show you guys how this is going to work. Okay. And so this is my software, ETS. It stands for Exquisite Tax Solution. We have a solution for every problem. Even if you want to become a taxpayer preparer, I train my team. Not only do I provide them with the software, but I also train them as well. Okay. So I have fake social security numbers in here. And I also have added a dependent on this screen. So I have this person's dependent name is Honeybee. Okay. So I actually want to show you guys what this does, because there's a lot of things that come into play. And don't forget, you have the look back credit. So make sure that you take your 2019 tax return when you go to file, because if you made more money in 19 than you did in 20 or 21, that could be a great boost to your tax return. Okay. So I already got this return populated. I hope you guys can see it. Okay. And so now I'm just going to jump right into and show you what happens with the child tax credit. Okay. And what it does for someone. And like I said, these socials are not real, so you're not getting anybody's real information. I'm just gonna make it Honey D and just be quick with it, because I just want to show you guys what happens, because I think some of you may have some expectations that are not real. Okay. And I think sometimes people will manipulate you to believe that. Okay. I don't want y'all walking in the tax office cussing me out. All right. Well, she said I was gonna get 8,000. She said I had 2 kids. I was gonna get 16,000. Okay. All right. So I'm just gonna show you guys just 2 scenarios. And so we're just gonna say that this person They made $40,000, okay? And so they had one child. So the maximum amount that they can file is the $8,000, okay? So I'm just gonna hit continue here and then just do one more spot. Just need to write this 8,000 for this child. And I'm gonna show you what happens to this return, right? So we did the 8,000 because it was one child, right? Did much change on this return, or did anything change at all? Wait, let me just delete it and go back out, because I really want you guys to understand. I think you will get kind of PO'd, especially when somebody is misleading you on purpose. And so let's just start over. That amount was $4,578, right? Correct? All right, so I'm going to enter this child care information again. It did not change this return at all. Okay. I just put stuff here, so it's not real. All right. It did not change this person return. So I said 8,000 because everything is mathematics, you guys. All right, everything is mathematics. So just because somebody says, oh, this is what you're going to get, this is how you're going to get it, you still, it's so much that comes that has to be considered. Okay. And so I put the 8,000 here. This person now has the child care credit on their tax return, and it went up how much? It was originally $4,578, and guess how much it went up? About 60 something dollars. It went up to be $4,641. So it went from $4,578 to $4,641. Okay. All right. So again, I don't want your expectations to be too high. I just keep it real with my clients. I think they appreciate my honesty. I always try to educate them. Not only do I educate them, but I just want you to, I don't want you to come into the tax office and thinking that, okay, you got this special situation, okay? And so just briefly, I'm going to change that amount. So everything depends on a number, okay? The AGI has to be taken into consideration. I put 8,000 on that return that they paid in childcare expenses. It only moved it up a couple hundreds. And so what I'm going to do, this is just for studying purposes and just to make you guys understand what I'm going to do. I'm just going to say that this client, they had a Schedule C and they had their own business. Okay. I'm just going to see if it's not going to let me. I already know it's not going to let me. Just leave it blank. All right. And okay, so I'm just gonna put them some income, just basic income. I'm gonna make it high enough to say, okay, so say this person made 39,000. Okay. On this person, I'm gonna go in, I'm gonna add them a child. Okay, and this time I'm gonna put that this person, so I'm not gonna add them a child here. I'm gonna make it Beehive or something like that. BB, that could be her name, BB. And I'm gonna put her as a young child. Right? Make up a social totally. All right, there may be some so I added this child. Okay. All right, so without any expenses right now, this person made like 36, her AGI is around 36,000, right? So I'm gonna go here and I'm just gonna add that child care, because in my past years, people with W-2s, they did benefit from having a child care provider. This time I'm going to put 16,000, okay? So we're going to say that she paid 8,000 for each person. 8,000 for Honeybee. And I hope this video is actually showing you guys the screen, because I do want you guys to understand the numbers, okay? These numbers matter. So it's not like you just, oh, I got 2 kids, I'm getting 16,000. You're going to get extra credits. You're going to benefit some from it. See, notice this person has a straight up Schedule C, and they have not received any, you don't get anything from the Schedule C for having child care credit. I mean, I'm sorry, that's just not how it works, okay? So I just kind of wanted to come on here and do this video because I like to explain to my clients. I like for them to understand and know the difference. You can't tell them anything, okay? You can't tell them anything because they already know, you know, let me just go in here and add, because I added the child, it did not calculate the child tax credit. Okay. All right. So because of this person's AGI, because of the amount of money they made, they got the child tax credit. They got the child tax credit. They got the dependent care credit. Okay. And what happened? Nothing. Okay. So everything depends on the number, right? Everything depends on the mathematic. I think it was very, very cool that the laws were enhanced. But I think that sometimes people do things deliberately to mislead you, and you don't have the correct understanding, okay? So millions of people will get a larger credit when they file their tax return next year. But just be mindful of these rumors, okay? Misleading things. If when you do come see me at Exquisite Tax Service, you know, you guys, I always take care of you. I'm going to educate you along the way, every step of the way. I just do not want you guys to be misled, okay? So the American Rescue Plan Act, it made several changes to the child and dependent care credit for the 2021 tax year. First, it made the credit refundable, because initially it only lowered your tax liability. For those of you that do not know what the tax liability is when you owe and now it's bringing you down. So let me just give you an example, right? And I'm going to use this example as a non-refundable credit, right? A $500 tax liability and a $600 credit. So say for instance, when by the time your tax return got finished, you were owing $500, right? So your person went in and said, hey, who kept your children while you were at work? And you may say, well, I paid the babysitter, okay? Based on the amount that you tell her, you get a credit of $600. Before 2021, that would have meant that you would get the excess back. Before 2021, that $100 would have been wasted, right? But in this year, because it's a refundable credit, you would have got the $100 back. It would cover your $500 liability, and you would have got the $100 back on a tax return, okay? So there's a lot of different credits. I will be doing more videos on this is the first year they did make an exception to the charitable donations, because there were so many disasters that happened this year. You don't actually have to itemize to get that charitable credit. It is a credit that you can get back. It does have a cap. I think it's either 300 or 600, but I will be doing a video on that. Okay. So as I said before, it's more than just childcare. I was just using this as an example. The AGI has a lot to do with that. The amount of money that this client made had a lot to do with why they were not receiving a refund. Okay. But a lot of you work from home, you do hair, you cut grass, you may be a plumber, you know. I don't want you to walk into your tax preparer's office with expectations that are not real. Okay. And so, like I said before, the credit did go from 35% to 50%, which is good. More paid expenses are subject to the credit. Instead of up to $3,000 in expenses for one child, you now got $6,000 for two or more. The American Rescue Plan Act allows the credit for up to $8,000 in expenses for one child and $16,000 for multiple kids. When combined with the 50% maximum credit percentage, that puts the highest credit amount available for the tax year at $4,000 if you have just one child, and $8,000 for two. And I can kind of bet you my bottom dollar it's going to be those that make way more money than that benefits the most from this credit. Okay. And so again, this credit is not just for children, it's for disabled spouses, disabled people, qualified people, and also your parents. There is a leeway on this. Your parent does not have to reside with you, parents only. Okay. And I will be doing more videos. Actually, I've made several videos today on different things for as business use of your home, residential energy credit. Again, the charitable distributions. So yeah, give me a thumbs up, like the page, share this. Somebody needs to know this. Okay. Now I could, before I get off here, I could make a return go up to 12 or 20,000. Okay. But that will only just be manipulating your mind, and I'm not here to do this. So I hope you guys found this information very, very valuable. I cannot wait to see you guys January the 2nd. Okay. Our cash advances will start for up to $6,000 cash advances. If like you didn't get your stimulus, the third one, there's things that have updated in the software. There are more updates to come. Okay. So you will be able to use your 2019 tax return to use your earned income and compare it to this year because of the COVID-19. Like I said, you have the charity. It's so many credits out there, so many credits. But I just didn't want you guys to have your feelings hurt. So I'm like the myth buster. I'm going to give you the facts, the truth, the honest, and I'm going to make sure that you're always in good hands when you're dealing with me. So I hope this video was useful, and I'll see you guys again soon. Let's see, can I go out with this one? So yeah, if you're looking for somebody to do your taxes right, me and my husband, we dropped this song in the studio for our business. Exquisite babe. Exquisite babe. So just like the song said, if you want your taxes done right, exquisite baby.